Bunny's Q&A. Long story short, not an actual Q&A, as nobody asked any questions, but these are general questions, a general Q&A. So, first point is this is for season 2 coming out. Season 2 comes out August 18th, the day before my birthday. Happy birthday to me. I'm not recording this on that date. This is like a week in advance. For the unaffiliated, Bunnies is a webcomic of mine that I started almost a year ago about a group of high schoolers who form a band. There's 6 of them. The characters are Luke, Max, Owen, Kai, Morgan. That's it. That is all of them. I'm not going to go really in depth in them because I'll go more in depth in them later. If you haven't read it, you should go and read it because I'm going to talk about spoilers for season 1. So, if you don't care, hop on board. Okay, I feel like that should actually be later, but first thing I'm going to bring up is why is it called Bunnies? Lore reason is it's a nickname that people called Luke and Lacey because it's a nickname that people called Luke and Lacey, and Luke likes bunnies, and he's also kind of sort of in charge of everything. So, yeah. How long will it be? 4 seasons spanning 4 years. I will be done with high school by the time that this thing is done. And they will be too, because it goes from their freshman year of high school where we start to their senior year of high school where it ends. That's the span of time within the story. Alright, so the ending of season 1, again, spoilers, is so Luke has a whole mental breakdown after the concert because of something Owen had said at the concert or done while at the concert. It's not really specified what he did, but he did something and it pissed him off. And then this also just led to the catalyst of a lot of things he had been holding in because he'd been stressed out about this concert, stressed out about his relationship, yada. And that led him to do some sort of sacrificial ritual. You know? Like you do. I'll probably get more into what that was. The sacrificial ritual, I mean self, as in he just weigh a little bit of blood, give it to the summoning circle, boom, magical dimension of his own creation. And then he also ended up dragging Max into it. And then Max called him out for being a faker. I almost swear there. Anyways, so he called him out for being a faker. And he was like, no. And then the world broke even more. The world is broken into 2 categories of his happy disassociative world and his negative disassociative world. And that's where they end up in the end, is the negative one. So, yay. And after that, they jump off a cliff. Yeah. And it did end happily. I did do a little doodle at the end, as I do most of the episodes, of them being happy in the end. But, yeah. Now we go into more general questions instead of story related. So character questions that I collected. Family members. Everyone has siblings but Kai. It's so sad. Poor baby. But Lacey, we've met her triplets. She's one of 3 triplets. I don't know what that's called. I'm sorry. Luke has siblings, but they're missing. That's a more spoiler thing. Max has 2 younger sisters. Morgan has a younger brother, 2 older brothers. That's all of them. Oh, and Owen has a half-sister who's the same age as Max's sister. Music. I have a wonderful list. I wrote these down Luke. So it's music I associate the characters with, not entirely the music that they listen to, but it's also kind of the music that they listen to. It's a bit both. Luke is Will Wood because I listen to a lot of Will Wood. There's a help here. Max, I don't know. I never filled that in. I don't know what he listens to. I'm afraid. He probably doesn't listen to music. He probably just sits in silence, and it's like eerie or like classical. Owen, 2000s pop punk. Kai, hopeless simping. Just try and figure out what that means. It's just the kind of music that I associate him with. I don't know how to make myself louder for it to listen to me. Do I have to be closer to it? Can I just make this closer to me? No, I have to be closer to the machine. Okay. Lacey, I have Marina and the Diamonds. Yeah. And Morgan is either early Britney Spears or early Taylor Swift. Pets. The only character who has pets, as far as I'm aware, is Max, and he owns a snake, which I've drawn. I've drawn his snake. So, I have written here, supernatural shit. So, I'm gonna put my phone down and talk about that, because I was holding my phone. Anyways, so I have made a post about this on Tumblr, but there's a lot of supernatural things just baked into the story. There are, mermaids, witches, werewolves. All of those do exist in this universe. You just have not met werewolves yet. Owen is a mermaid, or fish. I'm not calling him a merman. I'm against that term. Don't ask why. It just doesn't feel right. The AC cut out. So, maybe things will be quieter now. Max is a witch. That's not really been, shown. And what has been shown is that Luke has some other supernatural thing going on. It's godly powers, but also not, I don't know. It's godly powers. That is what it is. He has, the saint of a god, and they're fictional gods, but I'm not going to get into the entire lore of that, because we'll get into it one day, maybe. It's also not super important for bunnies, so I'm not going to get really into it. Nationalities. Luke is French American. I'd like to specify that this country that they are in is not America. It's a fictional country that is not America. Max is Hispanic and African American. Owen is half fish, half whatever this made up country is called. Kai is a white father and a mixed mother. His mom is dead. Spoilers, maybe. It's not really important. I asked about family earlier. I mentioned family earlier, so there you go. And I'm not 100% sure on Morgan. Should probably figure that out, since the next season's about her. I've written the first episode. I've written quite a bit of episodes by now, actually. But I've drawn the first episode by now, and it's the 12th. Yeah, the 12th. Fears. I've been listening to the Magnus Archive, as in I finished the Magnus Archive. So, fears are forever on my mind, but this is not which avatar of the Magnus Archive they are. If you don't know what the Magnus Archive is, you can just look it up, because I'm not going to explain myself. Okay, I'm gonna just go through the list. I will not explain, like any of these. I will not explain any of these. Luke, flying. Max, hurting others. Owen, public speaking. Kai, vomiting. Lacey, dogs. And Morgan, large bodies of water. Again, I'm not explaining any of these. Hobbies. Luke does dance that has been mentioned in the comics. Max is painting. I don't think that's been mentioned. Okay, it's probably way too loud out here. Recording this outside because my roommate came back. So, we're outside now. I have to remember where I left off, because though no time has passed. Oh yeah, I was doing hobbies. I mentioned that Luke does dancing, and it has been mentioned in the comic that he does dancing. And there's a emergency vehicle. That's really cool. So he did dancing when he was a kid. He still enjoys it, but he doesn't do it anymore. That's been touched on. Next is painting, which I don't know if that's been mentioned. It might have been at some point mentioned that he does painting. But I don't know. Sips my soda. Oh, and then his gardening, which I also don't. It's been like shown, I think, that he's done gardening. A lot of these have been shown because I've talked about them. So hobbies are good for you. You should always have a hobby. This is my hobby. I do this for fun. List of things that have not been mentioned. Kai likes origami, Lacey likes photography, but that's not been mentioned yet, and Morgan likes knitting and crochet, which I also do like to crochet. Can't knit, but can crochet. And I think I'm pretty decent at it. I started listening through this like halfway, like at this new recording point. I started listening back through things. Talking is difficult, and my voice is probably really kind of scratchy because talking is difficult, but it's not as bad as it's been. Quick little health thing. My voice is as bad as it's been, so we're recording this now. A week before this episode is due, because the time crunch. If you have any questions, I will provide answers. The webcomic is back on a weekly schedule, so every week I will post the main story thing. It's good to be back. This is mainly because I'm back in school, and it's a lot easier that way. So, for some reason, it's easier for me to have a work-life balance when I have school, because then I have to go to school for most hours per day. But I get off periods, so more time to work on this. But yeah, sorry for weird updates in the summer. I had family visiting and art diet that I did, and that exhausted me. So, and I'm ill. But yeah, thanks. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy season 2, hopefully, because it should be good, hopefully. And I'll edit this later. Probably not tonight. But